to find what has been lost. What are you willing to do? What are you willing to sacrifice? Do you remain steadfast, or do you give in to temptation?
Hi everyone, we're back. Did you miss me? Did you miss us? I missed Jack. It's good to have him back. Hey everyone, it's us. We're here. It may be our last story episode because people are gonna die. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. It might be these guys. It might be other guys. Somebody already died last session, so what's a few more dead bodies in the grand scheme of things? Before I begin, hey, it's the last story episode. Now's the time to get those retweets out, to give them some booms, to give me some banes, because I haven't been able to throw a single bane at anybody in this campaign. Mitch had tons of banes to throw, and frankly, I'm disappointed. We should be getting 70, 80, 100 retweets. Mitch got to 69 retweets at one point. I'm just saying, not a competition, but if we could get there, I'd be happy. I think a lot of people would be happy with that, but, I'm just saying, tell your friends to check it out, tell them to retweet it. It's just the right thing to do. Besides that, we hit the pet pal goal last time. Very happy and impressed with that. Hey guys, any goal we want to challenge them to hit this time? I think maybe something.
Kill the entire party.
Kill the entire party. I'm gonna do that anyways.
Yeah.
Oh, but
Yeah.
that's not a surprise. You're at Party White Games.
Exactly. Exactly. Golden Gods would be amusing, but I really don't expect anyone to go that far.
I'll be the cult gods instead.
Exactly. Look, you all could ascend and become gods. That's kind of the point of this game when it's long term. But hey, that's not what we're doing. Yeah, TPK. I'm sure I can swing that. It really just takes one bad roll to start sending that down that escalation. And I'm sure nobody here has consistently rolled bad. Cough in general directions. But why don't we start with some character introduction? And we're just gonna go counterclockwise, starting with our good friend Dido. Dido, who you playing?
I'm playing Ashlin West, the ex-girlfriend. Very eager to find her ex-boyfriend.
That's true. That's true. And then right on down to our good friend the professor.
Sphinx, be playing Delvin Cole, Professor. He's going through a few things right now. There's a decision to make.
For sure. And across the way, over to Jack.
Hi, I'm Count Jackula. Tonight I am playing Ezekiel, a man of strange background whose motives are a little mysterious right now. Not quite sure what he's going to do. Probably isn't good. You can probably count on that. But what exactly is going to happen? Well, that's anyone's guess. What does he want? What is he going to get? What will happen? You don't know yet. You are on the edge of your proverbial seat, trying to discover what will happen next.
And also the important question, what will happen if he doesn't succeed?
Well, poopy pants.
Poopy pants, yep.
I
I
will
hope you
pout.
were the wrong one.
There we go. I can't really segue from poopy pants, but hey, right on up to scribbles.
I mean, I don't even know how to follow that.
Yeah.
I am Scribbles. Playing Norah tonight. I may look different, but I'm still her. Just imagine their beautiful red hair and the obsession with her brother. No, just she's very careful, caring about her brother. That's it.
Listen,
And she's a dog.
In order to destroy her enemy, she has to become her enemy, and that's why her hair is looking slightly more like Nora's. It's all, or Ashlin's. Ashlin was copying Norah.
Exactly.
That's what it is. It's that psychological warfare.
She's the braids.
Yeah. Of course, I'm Rendis of Party White Games. I will be the Game Master, Storyteller, whatever you want to call me. I guess Dungeon Master would be appropriate for this campaign, but you know, it's fine. All right. So last we left off, you all had gone to Xanadu. There were various wonderful costumes and masks, and a well-dressed dog. Which, by the way, guys, if you hit that retweet button, you will see wonderful fan art done by my lovely girlfriend, who drew our wonderful dog in all of its wonderful glory. Well, oh, not this retweet, but the other one. But it's there. There's a dog. There is a dog. It was Norah all along. Huh. There's dog. Had dog. Everybody enjoyed the dog. Jem Shea is the artist. But we are not worried about that artist. We are looking for an artist that is a writer by the name of Noah. A brother, a lover, a friend, a student. Where did he go? Who really knows what happened to him? Apparently these people in Xanadu did. And one of them was able to tell Norah exactly where they could find him, where he had been taken to be kept safe, for something to happen, and to thank him for the trouble. She killed him. And then, Zeke found it, and people thought Zeke killed him, because of course someone like Zeke would have killed them. And then y'all wandered through a portal accidentally, and ended up in a dream realm where you met the ruler there, the dream princess, Yoko Sakai, and she didn't take well to Norah's shit, and responded to it in kind. And then good Delvin and everybody else was able to appease her, for now, and that is where we largely pick up now. You guys are still technically in this dream realm, and as you have continued down this yellow brick road that is guiding you to your destination, you came to a strange and dingy looking building. One second, I lost my place. It's this strange and dingy looking building on an abandoned side of town that seems to have been reclaimed by this rampant wildlife and growth. And when you get closer to it, you see that there are three pretty young men on their knees, and they've been chained together by a set of thick leather collars. And they hear you coming, and they turn to regard you. And as they respond like a trained guard dog would, they growl and shift and start to move their way towards you. and instead start to mold together into a horrific three-headed beast. And you can see there's glistening saliva that drips from the massive jaws of this infernal hell beast as it lunges towards you with the intent to kill. My question is, what do you all choose to do now in the face of seeing this creature head towards you?
Ashlin is going to pull out her whip. That's still at her side. And just kind of crack it. Just to the side. It's a nice... Not at anybody in particular. Yet.
Okay. Let's have a roll for that then. It feels like you're trying to be very intimidating. Cheat. Influence other. Roll plus charisma for me.
Mm-hmm. A 19.
19. Well, we are off to a fantastic start. With a 19, what is the intent of the whip crack?
I mean, they seem attracted to pain, so I honestly would probably be more of trying to get their attention in more of a sexual manner than a violent manner.
All right. So the four of you see this amalgamation of human dog-like Cerberus making its way towards you all, and from her hip, Indiana Jones style, Ashlin has produced this this rough spun whip and gives it just a quick twirl and a whip crack, and the beast turns their attention towards her, and hungry eyes fall upon her, and they still seem to bear fangs, and it looks like they have full intent of pouncing her within a few moments.
Is there any blunt instruments nearby that I could grab?
Would you like to search for one? Might
Yes.
prove beneficial if we look. Yeah, let's take a quick look around. Okay. Roll me plus perception, please, just to observe the situation. Am I legally obligated to tell you have rerolls? Yes, I am legally obligated to tell you you have 2 rerolls available to you.
Yeah, I'll use one.
All right, go ahead and reroll that for me.
17.
17. All right. From a colossal failure to a colossal success. Yeah, you're able to look around. You can see that there are a number of items that could be used here. There's a loose brick that's well within reach. There's also like fallen tree branches from poor street maintenance, where one of the sidewalk trees has just been kind of wilting and shedding its bits. You could also probably grab like any kind of object that you feel might be just discarded in a nearby trash pile that could serve as a whacking implement. But You're able to find something. A few good options to choose from.
Probably something like a pipe.
Okay. Yeah, there's an old rusted pipe in a nearby trash pile.
So he'll grab that and
Scooping it up,
move
you
in
feel
towards.
its weight and move towards them. Would you like to do some violence?
If it looks like they're gonna attack, yes.
They have made their intent very clear. Norah looks delicious. Norah, Ashlin. I'm gonna get that right eventually. It's only the last episode.
I'll just throw you off.
Yeah, it's the
If
hair.
if they get within range, Ashlin's definitely gonna do some violence.
Yeah. But Professor, your concern of if they had intended to do harm, they do. Do you let Norah try to fend it off herself, or are you going to step in?
She'd probably move first since he's looking around for the pipe.
Okay. Does Norah or Zeke want to step in at all?
Yeah, is this thing on a chain?
It's chained together. They were at one point bound by leather collars, but it is not chained to the porch or the building. It is free roaming.
Do I still have the... I should still have the knife from earlier, right?
There was a knife that you picked up, and there is a knife on the Ashlin doll.
This would be the larger knife.
Mm-hmm.
I will simply attack with the knife,
All right.
since I have. That's the best option.
Yeah. Norah, is there anything aligned with that you would like to do?
So this dog man woman thing, monstrosity seems pretty focused on Ashlyn right now, right?
Yep.
She is going to try and around the edge, and just try and sneak into the building while they're distracting it.
Yeah, I like it. All right. Ashlyn, roll me your violence as well. Jack, Zeke, give me your result. I heard the dice clear ladder.
Yeah, I'm going to re-roll.
All right.
I'm gonna re-roll as well.
Of course you would. What? I have consequences. That's
All right.
boring.
I got a 12.
12. And an 11.
I got an 11.
All right. And so when we go to do violence,
I'll roll mine too
12?
after this.
Oh, yeah, please. Go ahead and let me know.
Also an 11.
Also an 11. Yeah, I can resolve all of this together. You inflict damage, but at a cost. Since there are 3 of you and 3 mouths, I'll just go ahead and say that each of you were able to deliver various blows upon these creatures, knife, whip, and pipe. But 3 heads are able to lash back out at you, and you each are going to suffer from a counterattack. So please roll me an endure injury. Plus fortitude, minus any harm. And then Norah, please also give me I think sneaking is coolness in this game.
12.
Yeah, give me an act under pressure. 12 to endure.
Can I use avoid harm?
Use avoid harm. You have. Actually, yes. Sorry. That is what it should be. Thank you for pointing that out. Endure injury is when you actually get hurt. So you guys could re-roll that because that's my mess up. It's
So
plus
I'm keeping
avoid
that
harm.
one.
Yeah, avoid harm plus reflexes. Okay, that's a
I'm
success.
gonna re-roll that.
Your last re-roll. All right.
14. Yep, that was my last re-roll.
14 and Zeke, what did we have?
22.
20. 22. All right. So the 14 is going to get a different result, but the two gentlemen managed to block, dip, dodge, dive, and duck away from the gnashing teeth of their assaulter. Ashlin, you are able to avoid the worst of it, but I decide if you end up in a bad spot, lose something, or partially sustain harm. What I feel is going to happen is while the two of them are inflicting these injuries onto the three-headed gentleman, its bite down chomps down at your wrist and fingers, and it causes you to drop the whip, where it snatches it up and is promptly driven back from the other two. So it has stolen your whip, and it has decided to start backing away from you all. And I have a roll from Norah to see.
Yeah, I have my dice right here.
Yeah, go
I
for
got a 15.
A 15 to act under pressure. You do what you want unintended. So you're able to get by just in time. The camera would see as the three of them are trying to fend off this creature. There's a shot of Norah just casually slinking away out of notice of the four that are busy fighting, and she slips through the entryway door and disappears inside. Let's see here.
I would like whisper to the dog as she's doing this. They're serving their purpose, right?
Indeed they
Goes
are.
inside.
Glory and death await them.
Then Noah will be mine.
He will be ours.
I feel like in the television show, the voice of the dog would either be Rob Halford or Marilyn Manson.
Yeah. Norah, as you're making your way through this building, you end up seeing that it's filled with others that are here. Every time you pass down an open entryway to this rundown building, you see echoes of things that might have been noticed in a carnival horror show. People inflicting pain and punishment upon others. You see another where there is just somebody strung out on drugs and passed out, but somebody is busy gnawing on the stump that had been their leg at one point, and they turn and look at you silently with their mouth painted this gooey crimson. You see broken staircases and collapsed ceilings from neglect and disrepair. As you pass by another set of rooms, you see that there's a room filled with cages, and people of all genders and ethnicities are locked in small, cramped cages, forced to squat down low and huddle in a very kind of reminiscent of how veal tenderizes meats by keeping the muscles in place to just not get any use or exercise. Tired voices, they plead for help, but you're driven by a singular purpose to find Noah.
Yeah, I feel like she hardly even notices any of this as she's passing by. It's very much following that feeling of where she knows Noah to be, like heading straight towards that room.
And unfortunately for you, that connection you have with your twin brother is why you are able to sense where he is. And you're able to sense where he is because, like most special twins, the connection and bond between the two of you goes beyond just the time of your birth. You get the feeling that you're feeling what he's feeling, those symptoms, those feelings of being past your normal cycle has returned. It never really went away, but the medicine had dulled it briefly. But you feel nauseous, dizzy, bloated. The pain of contractions hit you at random intervals, but they seem to come more frequently when you pick a direction that leads you down a hall that might get you closer to your goal. Every time you sense you're going the right way, the pain intensifies.
Like every so often she'll have to stop and like lean against the wall. Her hand just on her gut as that cramping feeling takes over, and she just is only able to like, sort of breathe through that pain. But she will continue onwards even if she has to crawl her way towards that room.
And back outside, the three of you continue to fight against this creature. Let me have another round of violence from each of you.
9.
9. Jack, you are out of rerolls, as is Dido.
12.
You are legally allowed to reroll if you would like to spend your last dice there, good professor. Get everybody on an even playing field.
Okay.
Or save it for a crucial moment.
Yeah, I'll keep the 12.
Alright. So, that was a 9 and an 8, correct? Something below 10 from the other two. Engaging in combat. 10. So, 12 to 14 gets you the ability to inflict damage as before, but with a cost. If anybody had rolled under a 9, the attack doesn't go as anticipated, and they are subjected to bad luck or pay a higher price at my discretion. I think that with this, the heads continue to lash out, but they start to recognize where the real threats are coming from. Ashlin doesn't have her whip anymore, but it also took away one of the creature's mouths, and as it flings the whip away over its head, the other two start to bark and lunge forward, and they bite and snap, and while you all are able to fend them off again, You don't hit nearly as hard as you hope or pierce the skin enough to do real damage. But the creature seems content in falling back now, and with a yip, it rushes into the building.
How far away is
Well, Sylvan-
Ashlin's whip?
How far is Ashlin's whip? It would be near the entrance of the building now. It would have dropped it before running. Not far, just a few feet.
How large was that creature? Like about the size of a regular person, or a bit taller?
It looked like the average height of young adults, male. So anywhere from the 5'11" to 6'2" range, I would say. Not too meaty, but enough to look intimidating when merged together in an unnatural way.
Before going inside, Ashlin is gonna go up to Zeke and get really close to him. If you and I get out of this alive, and Norah's dead, I'll give you a night you won't forget. And I'm gonna get up real close, press my body against his. I'm gonna give his ear a little lick, and I'm gonna bite down kind of hard, not enough to draw blood, but really close. And I'm gonna use my seducer feature advantage on him.
You never stood a chance.
Oh, which is an 18.
Oof.
So I get to choose up to 3 options usable anytime in the story.
Okay.
Now, he's just gonna he's gonna feel a flood of happiness in my presence, and I'm gonna raise his stability by 2, and I'm gonna keep the other 2 things that I can do.
Oh, I am back to
Because
compose.
my seducer is I can consciously make people fall in love with me.
Mm-hmm. And Zeke, she drives a pretty convincing argument. Why wouldn't you do this? Have your cake and eat it too. It seems like the perfect idea, especially considering what your employers want anyways. Let her have this moment. You could have yours and still get paid at the end. But she doesn't need to know that.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I grab her on the ass, and I'm just like, of course.
Professor, it's about this moment that you notice that there is only the 3 of you here.
You'll say it out loud enough for the other 2 to hear. Yeah, she's gonna die. It's the second time she ran off by herself.
Usually, splitting the party doesn't go well for anyone.
Well, I guess that just means more for us, right? If she's
That's
out of
not
the
all.
way.
Get on in.
I'm gonna pick up my whip on the way in.
Mm-hmm. Norah, while all this has been happening, you've been ascending a crumbling staircase. You've climbed at least 6 flights, feeling yourself getting a little tired under the strain, but you're nearing the top, or at least nearing where you feel the top would be as your only destination is finding your brother. The stairwell was not empty, however. You saw signs of others here, tortured souls that you promptly stepped over, walked past, kicked out of your way as they reached for you and asked for help. None of it mattered. You were getting closer to what you wanted, what you needed to get to. And as you open the hall access door, you see that this hall is dark, dimly lit, except for a lone room that has a light shining from it to signal that there's at least one other person here.
Coming through the doorway, I'll pause as like another probably stronger feeling contraction just like causes her to like double over in pain. But after it eases a little bit, she'll look up. Noah? Are you in
And
here?
there's just a faint groan from the room. You step closer, the feeling of wanting to see what might be there is getting more and more compelling to step forward. When you step into this room, you're alone besides an individual laying on a dirty, messy mattress. There was a lock at one point, but it looks like it had been left ajar so that whoever had been here had left it unlocked, but the door is open and easier to get in. There's heaps of dirty old clothes, a digital camera, a notebook. You see that there is in fact your twin brother, Noah, laying on this bed, unconscious and naked except for a t-shirt on the mattress in the corner of the room.
She just, once her eyes fall upon him, will rush towards him, and just like her hands are on either side of his cheeks, just gently trying to get him to wake up. She'll like every so often like stroke his hair away from his face, just repeating his name. Noah, 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 please, can you hear me? Noah, wake up.
And upon closer inspection, you see that he has signs of extreme physical strain and exhaustion. His consciousness, if he's roused at all, is hard to recognize. He's extremely thin now, significantly thinner than the last time you had seen him. His skin is dry and peeling, his hair is greasy and sticking to his face and neck. And the body is darted with numerous abrasions, black veins, cuts, and unnatural pulsating swelling. Worse yet, his stomach appears unnaturally engorged, as if he had been starving himself.
Looking around the room, is there water, anything that she can find, food, anything?
Let's get a roll. Give me and observe the situation.
Oh, good at that one. 10.
10. And you don't have any more rerolls. Alright.
Oh no.
Now the fun begins. You are allowed to ask one question.
Is there anything in here that I can use to help him?
All right. And so.
Give him comfort. That's more narrow.
Yeah. Yeah. There is like a. You missed it when you first came in. Your focus had fixated on your twin brother when you had entered, but now that you have a moment to look around, you see that there is a dusty mini fridge parked in one corner, covered in grime and the flaking asbestos from the ceiling. But opening it up, you see that there are various unlabeled brown bottles, and uncorking one and taking a sniff gives off that heavy alcohol scent. No water, though, just lots of alcohol to numb things away.
I mean, Norah doesn't have any sort of medical training or anything like that, so to her, this liquid is better than nothing. So she'll grab one of the bottles and take it back over to him.
All right.
No, we gotta get out of here. And she'll like try to get him to drink it, but seeing that he probably doesn't have the energy to do so, she will take it into her mouth and then kiss him to get the liquid into his body.
Well, that escalated quickly, but as you do so, you press your lips to his, and you pass the liquid into his mouth, and you don't pull back so that he's forced to swallow reflexively. As your lips press together, you feel just something else is off and that had been missing. And then there's just a slight dribble of the alcoholic content that pours out one side of his mouth. His jaw had been dislocated and was slacking slightly, and so that lack of control caused a little bit of a spillage. You have another chance to really look him over and see what has happened to him, and there's traces of blood visible on his thighs. And if you check a little bit more, the trauma seems to travel between his cheeks, and it's clear that he's been subject to a lot of traumatic abuse during his stay here.
She just sort of gasps. Just moves his hair back again from his face, just gently stroking his hair. No, I'm here now, okay? And I'm the only person you need. I'm gonna get you out of here.
You hear a soft groan. A sound of recognition. His eyes open for a moment.
No, it's me. I'm right here.
Norah? His voice sounds dry despite having just had a drink.
She'll turn her head to look towards the dog. Is there anything I can do to help him? Can we help him?
He is dying.
No. There has to be something that we can do.
It will be upon us soon. He must live to the end.
The end of what?
The end of his ordeal. It is not over. Death is merely a release.
You don't understand. No. We're supposed to live our lives together. No. I'm not.
Holding Noah close to you, you feel something that you didn't expect to feel on the receiving end of it. Maybe it had been something that Norah had thought about whenever thinking about the idea of children, that feeling of a foot or a hand, a child in pregnancy kicking, but you feel it come from Noah's stomach. It is almost time.
Oh. Pause and
Find the
press
others.
her hand against
One
his...
has a use.
Who has a use?
One can heal him.
Will you look after Noah while I go find them?
Of course. And you see the dog hop from your arms to kind of pat around the dirty mattress, and then it settles to sit and lay on Noah's chest, its head pressed against the belly.
She'll kiss Noah on the forehead. Be right back. We're gonna get out of here together, okay?
There's a very
Then
weak
she'll go off to find the others.
Yep. The others. Hey, how you doing? Not driven by glorious purpose. You all have found that entering the building has taken you to an awful, nightmarish hellscape. There are individuals here, monstrous, grotesque. When they see you, they shamble up from squatted positions over torn bodies where they have been feasting or mutilating or sexually traumatizing to turn and regard you. A few of them get up and make their way to try and block your path through these broken hallways. How do you all go about handling these creatures as they approach?
As they approach, I simply hold the knife up and go, back.
You just wish to threaten?
Yeah. Like, yeah, basically, I say back in a commanding voice.
Roll plus charisma to influence the others.
14.
14. They do as you command, but there are consequences. They regard your raised dagger with curiosity. They shrink back its slow, cautious steps, mostly with the dangerous gleam of creatures weighing their chances against the three of you, the odds of their losses, if it would be worth it to take you now or wait for a better opportunity. But they shrink back and slip into the rooms to unbar your path through the hallway.
Continue forward.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Ashlin will follow.
Somebody's noise. Okay, it's gone. Yeah, so you have driven these creatures off for now, and you try to follow where you think Norah might have gone, but really you have no idea. So you have to just start searching floor to floor, room to room, and as you're doing so, the confrontations become more and more serious, more and more dangerous. Ezekiel is strong and intimidating, but the numbers are growing, and each time these things seem content to wait. There seems to be more of them peering through the door frames or around the corners to really figure out if it's worth it. But for now, they leave you alone, and you find a stairwell that's not destroyed or crumbling enough that traversing it would be dangerous. And you hear the sounds of the door opening at the top floor, with Norah exiting from the hallway she had just been in as you were entering.
Walk right up.
You start to climb the staircase. What does everybody else do?
I'm gonna follow Zeke.
I'll take up last position going up the stairs.
All right.
Yeah.
So at the last position going up the stairs, Norah, you hear the sound of footsteps starting to ascend the stairs. Clearly not stopping at the second, third, fourth, or fifth floor. Their steps grow louder as they start to get within the next set of stairs that would take them in front of the hallway that leads to your brother.
Norah will reach into her pocket where she's been keeping that Ashlin doll and have the knife kind of ready in her hand. She won't pull it out, but her hand is like resting on it.
Holding on to the doll's knife? Because it was a full-sized kitchen knife as well. Do you just take the knife from the doll, or are you holding the doll as well?
Holding the doll as well. So like holding its hand and the knife by the hilt just sort of in her pocket, waiting to see who's coming up.
Yeah, I like it. You're holding this doll. You're holding your breath. You're waiting to see who comes up the stairs. But then you hear something very faint. The sound of cloth or fabric ripping. And please give me a roll plus soul.
Okay. 13.
13. Always good when I don't want it to be. Alright. You look down to the source of this sound, and you see what should have been a normal-looking sackcloth doll with two beady button eyes has turned its head fully around owl style and is looking up at you. And you hear a voice go, "You should have given him to me. I'm gonna wear your skin now." And you feel the knife that you were holding slice across your palm as the doll has moved the blade into a more precarious position. Please give me an endure injury roll.
Oh, 11.
Also, totally just gonna call it out now. Dido, thank you for the gift subs. Because, of course, yeah, good stuff getting that out to those people. Totally not biased giving a sub to Dido's mom as one of the screen names on there.
It was random, okay?
It was
She's
random.
Just very special that they randomly gave it to my mother.
Yep. Not favorites at all. So there's that subscriber goal. Hooray. You rolled a 12 on the endure injury. You are still standing, but I pick one condition.
11, yeah.
Oh, it says 12. Is there a minus? Oh, no, it just didn't scroll down for me.
Oh no, because
Right.
I'm rolling.
Yeah, you're not rolling. I'm looking at the dice roll. It was scrolled up and it was showing a roll of yours from a previous day, and I was like, oh, that's also an endure. It was conveniently on an endure injury. Funny enough. So with an 11, 10 to 14 is you're still standing, but there is a complication with it. It's not going to be a serious wound, but the injury is enough to throw you off balance, because of course it is. It's a doll that wasn't alive a moment ago, and now it's talking about wanting to wear your skin. And so as you feel the blood get drawn from the sharp edge of this knife, it just starts giggling. And the sound of it giggling gets loud enough for the three of you to hear it, and probably Norah's scream as she just cut herself.
Myself.
That's at
Does
least how
the
it
giggling
looks.
sound like me?
It does not.
Okay.
But it does appear that Norah had cut herself holding a knife while holding a doll that looks like you.
Are they up here yet, or
Are we there?
Can she not see them?
Yes, you're rounding the corner of this winding staircase, and so you come into view, and you see the sight of her bleeding hand holding this knife and doll, and you see them now.
Can she wrest the knife from the doll at all, or?
Yeah, would you like to start fighting this doll in front of them? I like it. Let's see here. Give me an act under pressure. Roll plus coolness.
Oh my. 12.
12. So, you do it, but hesitate, are delayed, or must deal with a complication. The GM reveals an unexpected outcome, a high price, or a difficult choice. Oh gosh. The doll is surprisingly stronger than you realize. And so as the three of them reach the top of the stairwell, they see that you're busy trying to wrestle a large kitchen knife from a tiny doll that looks like that looks like Ashlin, and the complication that arises is definitely complicated that they see this happening, but it's not the complication at hand. Your attempt to wrestle this knife from a surprisingly strong doll with no real leverage is proving more difficult than you had hoped, and your struggles bring you precariously close to this non-OSHA regulation stair rail. And it would just take one bad step to fall over the side.
Can I add an additional complication?
Yes, of course.
So as the other three are like coming up the stairs, Nora's also like yelling at the doll that she will give it the flesh of the person it looks like if it will just give her the knife.
I like that. Yeah, give me an influence other, and I'm gonna say you can have a +2 bonus.
I hear this, right?
You do, yeah. Everybody heard it.
Oh, we all hear this. Oh,
You all have reached the top of the stairwell.
So I still have a
That didn't work
hold
out.
on her.
Is that
on my
charisma?
seducer feat.
Yeah, plus charisma.
She will also.
You do.
She will also have to roll a keep it together, I believe. Yes.
Ooh, yeah, roll me that
Because
keep
I
together
still have one
first.
hold on her from my seducer.
Mhm.
And I can make them feel bad for opposing me and make them have to roll and keep it together.
Yeah, let's do that first. Push through her conditioning, and then we'll go from there.
Alright, keep it together is willpower. Oh,
Sorry, was there a number? I heard cool.
oh, sorry. 12.
12. Okay. 10 to 14. The effort to resist instills a condition which remains with you until you've had time to recuperate. You gain -1 in situations where this condition would be a hindrance to you. So I definitely think it's you become distracted. Because one, you're wrestling this knife from this doll, and two, you distracted yourself further by noticing that Ashlin and the others have arrived. They heard everything. You are just distracted on all sides. Being distracted is a -2 in situations where the condition limits you, such as not falling to your death. But give me the influence other roll now. She definitely feels
that was
bad
a
about it,
16.
Ashley. 16?
Yeah, as she like rounds the corner, she's like, oh. Yeah.
Is that with the -2?
Oh, 14.
14. That takes it from complete compliance to she does what you ask, but I get to choose one bad thing that happens after. She gives in for the moment, but will change her mind and regret it later. You feel the grip on the knife slacken as you say you'll give her the skin of the one you look like, and that's when you spot Ashlin at the top of the staircase, and the guilt is hard for a moment, and then you push it back down.
Yeah, this is for Noah.
How's everybody taking the news of Norah is saying she's gonna skin Ashlin?
Ashlyn looks
She's awkward.
calm.
Not my first choice if I heard somebody wanted to skin me, but I like it.
I said she looks calm. but she definitely kind of has that look like a snake ready to strike and just waiting for the perfect moment.
Mm.
Did the doll let go of the knife?
Yes, she handed it to you because she is thoroughly convinced and wants you to collect her skin.
So, Norah, what did you find?
Nora's quiet, sort of looking between Ashlin and Zeke, and then down at the doll before back at the room. And then her eyes will look up at Ashlin. I found Noah.
Go on.
And she's still looking at Ashlyn. I don't know what came over me. And she'll sort of take a step closer. No.
She steps closer, holding this knife in her hand, and an Ashlin doll.
Ashlin unravels the rope, not the rope, the whip. So now she just has it by the handle.
Nora eyes the whip for a moment. Her gaze sort of darting between Ashlyn and this weapon. Are you guys still here to help me help Noah?
Depends on what you're here for. I have my doubts. Where is he?
Are you going to help me help him?
Norah, I think Zeke is our best way out of here. So you need to tell him where Noah is so we can get him out of here safely.
Why is Zeke our best chance out of here?
He got us in here, didn't he?
He will sort of hold up her bloodied hand. Look at the three of them. Can any of you fix this?
I do so.
I just want to help my brother.
Yeah. So you've taken them into his room.
Roll a keep it together as well.
Have you taken them into the room, Norah?
No, she's trying to see who can heal.
Mm-hmm.
But this is opposing what Ashlyn asked him to do, so Zeke's gonna need to roll and keep it together as well.
Wait, how is this in... What, healing her is against what you would have wanted?
Yep.
Healing
Because
Noah.
I told you to kill her. I told you to kill Norah.
Oh! Oh, okay. Well, so I need to roll keep it together, right?
Yes.
Perfectly good staircase right there.
That would be a... Keep it together is a... Act under pressure, right? Or... No, willpower. 16.
Well, I mean, I can't have you guys do crazy things if you keep doing well. You do what you had originally intended.
Okay. Bonk. That would be a 13.
All right. so Bonk, 13. You are 13 was for your healing hands. Hold on, I gotta look that up. I was like, I don't see it on here, and then I was like, oh wait, I know where it is. Healing hands. You said 15?
Yep.
Right.
13.
13. The injury is stabilized. You're able to clean and dress it, so she's not in any danger of bleeding out anytime soon.
Where's Noah?
Norah will just sort of take Zeke's hands in her own, and look up at him. I need your help. I need you.
I know you do. Where is he? No stalling.
What?
I'm running out of patience.
Wait. What happened to your accent?
Nothing.
I think that's obvious.
We need to help Noah. We need help Noah now. She will open the door behind her while leading them inside.
Okay.
I have a question.
When she does
Before we go
so, she will
inside.
just rush to Noah's side.
I have a question. If I am shaken, I take the penalties from above or just what's on that line?
With shaken, you would take just that line because it kind of stacks there the further down you've done.
Okay.
You could do it, but no, there's no real reason to. The shakens.
All right, so I see her run into the room and run to Noah's side, right?
Uh-huh.
And he is as you described him before?
Mm-hmm. He is in rough shape.
And what's wrong with him is pretty obvious, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Give me, because there are some things that are not obvious, just from a player understanding. Give me a roll of investigate.
Okay. 10.
You are able to ask one question. Information comes at a cost determined by the GM, such as requiring some one or. Sorry, trying to keep this focus as the weariness is catching up. The cost determined by the GM, such as requiring something or someone for the answer, exposing yourself to danger, or needing to expend extra time or resources. What will you do what it takes? So what's your question for this?
Well, my question is, what kind of condition is he in? And this thing that's growing inside of him, where are we with that?
Yeah. So that is the important questions and the distinction I wanted to make sure was clear. You Zeke may not have much experience with pregnant women, but if he does, he would recognize that the growth is well into the 9 months, and the child could be born very soon. But the state of his body and malnourishment, it doesn't look like he will last very long without being stabilized.
In that case, I'll stabilize him.
Roll me your healing hands.
11. Oh, wait, no, that's not an 11. That is a 14.
You are able to stabilize him, which helps quite a bit. Let me see what this says.
While I'm doing this, while I'm laying my hands on him, I like just sort of, I'm just like, not yet.
Okay. He's able to be healed of this condition, and what's more importantly, it seems to give him a moment of relief where there's a content exhale, and then his eyes shoot open, and he lets out a very painful scream as there is just a rush of fluid that comes out between his legs and onto the floor in the kind of way that TV shows and movies symbolize the start of the birthing process with water breaking.
I go,
I just want to say
Norah,
I got a 17
hold
on
him
my
down.
disadvantage.
17 on your disadvantage. Let's see here.
Yes.
Yeah, you're never going to get to do it.
I know.
This whole game, you haven't had a chance to do it.
Nope. Jesus Christ, is that what I think it is?
I tell Norah to hold on to Noah. It's like, hold on to him.
She does so, but she's like, "Oh, what's going on? What are you going to do?"
I'm going to simply do my best to ease this birthing process. I care more for the offspring than the host.
I don't know where Nora's
Guess you
gonna hold
don't
him
say
down
that.
at.
I don't say that at all, no.
Yeah, so Zeke and Norah, the intention is to get him comfortable and start this process.
Mm-hmm.
Ashlin, are you helping with that, or?
Yeah, I wanted to know where Norah was gonna place herself first.
All right, Norah, where are you going to help situate this?
Definitely like up by his head, just like his shoulders, but she looks very concerned, and just is constantly asking Zeke, like, what are you gonna do? What's happening? Are you sure you can do this? Like,
Yeah, Ashlin will take one of his hands, and kind of stroke his cheek a little bit. It looks tender, but it's kind of rough, considering she cut it. You need to breathe with the contractions. Noah, look at me. And she kind of like gets
There's
us to kind of like,
half-lidded, hazy eyes that gaze up at you when you say that. There's a recognition, and he just says, Ash? And, hey, Nora, why don't you give me your disadvantage roll?
I gotta roll a disadvantage.
as your twin says somebody else's name and not yours.
I need to know, Emma or Lee?
Is that me or Noah that you're asking?
It's Noah that I'm asking. I'm asking him which baby is inside of him, the boy or the girl.
He just says, what? Can we have that disadvantage roll, please?
I already know what happens. I need to roll and keep it together. I rolled a 7.
Ooh, fun. Yeah, roll me to keep it together.
Is what's inside of you a boy or a girl? Or an it?
He says, I don't know. What was the results?
10.
10?
Yeah.
Together with the 10. The effort to resist instills a condition which remains with you until you've had time to recuperate. You get -1 in situations where the condition would be a hindrance. How do I best destabilize this situation? You're already distracted.
He wants to punch Ashlin.
You become angry then. -1 stability. Ashlin is just throwing these questions out at your twin. You know, Emma, Lee, is it a boy? Is it a girl? Is it a thing? What's a thing? Why would it be a thing? But there have been signs that there are strange things that are happening all over, and this building is no different. And so as he gives another scream from a contraction, it becomes clear that something needs to be done, or it's going to start with or without them.
Wait, something's going to start with or without
The
them?
dog's
What do you mean
still
by that?
on Noah's.
The dog had been settled comfortably. And yes, Zeke, you were able to heal him, so he's not going to die, but the birthing process has begun now that he is healthy.
Oh, good.
Yeah, Ashlin's gonna lean in to Noah's ear and whisper so that only he and Norah can hear. And as she's talking, she's looking directly at Norah. Because when I woke up in the hospital, unable to move from the pain, I was quite surprised to find out that I was pregnant.
Dun, dun, dun.
And she leans back up. Remember, you need to breathe.
Yep. I'm going to just get collective rolls from y'all. We don't need to role play out the birthing process. Unless anybody decides for inevitable betrayal. But I think a round of coolness rolls from anyone getting involved will be helpful in this situation. You gotta stay cool to deliver a baby.
11.
11?
4. I mean, Ashlin doesn't really
4?
care, so I mean, I guess it makes sense. Ashlin's getting too
okay.
much enjoyment out of watching him suffer.
I think the professor's just overwatching, like just making sure the situation doesn't implode.
I like it. I like it. So it's just gonna keep watching, and so as you all do your best to keep it together to varying degrees, some of you just completely lose your shit because you can't keep it together at all. The strain is too much for your mind to handle. The GM chooses your reaction, cower powerless in threat's presence, panic with no control of your actions, or suffer emotional trauma, or suffer life-changing trauma. I'm more than willing to say that let's see here. If only we had more time to explore the haunted side of that. You will. You will see that it's not so easy to watch what's happening, because unlike women who are able to accommodate a new life leaving their body, Noah's situation is a little more serious, and as you help him push this entity out, you end up seeing that it's not quite human. It's how do I describe it? It looks like a human baby, but just things are off. Its fingers are a little bit longer. Its legs have a weird bend to them that seems to disappear when you try and show somebody else. But as the body is pushed out from Noah's body, you end up seeing that there's more to this entity than just a strange humanoid body. There's also a pair of long whip-like tendrils that extend from it, and while it's merely an infant, its eyes open up and they look at the four of you with strangely keen intellect, and it speaks not openly but into your minds, and it just says, "Well, this was unexpected. My arrival should have heralded the host's death."
Yes, well, one of the problems of the real world is things do not always go as expected. And I'm just, is it out? Does it still need assistance?
It's out. It is out, and it has lifted itself up, and it says, "The problem with the real world is that you do not know which of the worlds is real, and I need all of you to see through the illusion."
All right. 17.
17.
8.
8. All right.
Sorry, 13.
13.
15.
15. Oh, Ashlin. You were doing so good. You should have just killed her when you had the chance.
Meh.
So, Zeke, you are able to perceive things as they really are. This explanation of the world is actually the worlds, plural, and that this area is not the real world, but this is an artificial world, a world you're not meant to recognize outside of the what's the word? I just blanked on it. Outside of the simulation, your awareness has taken you to the point that this thing is not meant to be here, and wherever here is not where you're supposed to be either.
I'm not exactly sure what to make of that just yet.
Take that moment to...
Take that moment to... Hello?
Hello.
Hey! Yeah, you stopped in the middle of a sentence and I didn't hear what you said.
Did I?
You said take a moment to, and then I was waiting for the second half.
I heard you talking and I paused. I also see that there was an X card played, so I was responding to that. So, I'm trying to gauge where that was so that I could make sure that we gloss over that moment. In chat, our chat, please just let me know what we're skipping over so that I don't goof on it. Yeah, okay, I got you. Okay. Trying to figure out how we navigate around that. I have an idea. Yeah, no, that's a no bueno. So, yeah. I got you. So this entity looks at each of you and says, "You helped bring me into this world. You didn't stop my coming, and I should reward you."
Thank you. Although watching your birth was quite the reward in and of itself.
Yes. Indeed. It is glorious, but I will require more. And you have all proven yourselves capable. My gift to you is the return of this one. One of the little tentacles gestures to Noah's probably unconscious again body. Childbirth in all of its forms is likely very exhausting, and Noah is probably not ready for it in any shape or form, so he probably had passed back out. This one will be returned to you, and name a reward that may be bestowed, and it will be yours.
At this point, Nora's just like cradling Noah, just like holding him close to her.
Yeah, Ashlin's nowhere near that thing. She freaked out long before it was born.
I just respond with, I have no other desires at this moment. But do you require a name?
One moment. There we go. Okay. Do I require a name? You
It is
may
traditional
grant
when one is... Which strikes your fancy more? Emma? What was the other one? Ashlin said?
Lee. Lee.
Emma or Lee?
I am both, and neither. I shall be
Emily, then.
Liema.
Very well, Liema.
You're welcome.
I am called Ezekiel.
Ezekiel. Your true name will be committed to memory.
Come. What now?
I must go and feed. I will seek others who are weak-willed and easy to manipulate. I will propagate my species further. And when the time comes, I will call upon you further.
I
There
nod
seem to
and
be more
smile.
than
I'm
enough
like,
of those downstairs.
They are merely fuel, not appropriate vessels. I see only two that were worthy of ever accomplishing what would be necessary to create my kind. And one is already spent.
who is the other?
It is not for me to say, but I could reward them with the knowledge they seek.
Do they know who they are?
They have rejected the gift once before.
Well, you have me in a bit of a conundrum then, because I am not entirely... I look over to the professor. Wait. It's you, isn't it?
We'll see.
What?
So you're saying you had a choice in delivering... Sorry, what did you say it was? What did you say his name was?
Liema.
Liema. And you were given the choice to turn it down.
Hmm.
Not me, but one like me.
Professor, you were given this
Yes.
choice and you turned it down.
Yes.
So you're saying Noah could have turned down this choice.
Not sure. That's what I want to ask.
Well, dear Professor, he's
Did
right
Noah
here.
ask for this?
Noah gave himself willingly swept up in the fanciful embrace of debauchery and sex and all of its dark and wonderful forms. One does not go without consent. Even as a newborn, I understand that consent is important.
What is it you need right now, Liema? Tell me. Tell us.
I need to feed. I will find those like Noah that can begin the journey, and I will grow feasting on their energy. My influence can infect those not attuned to the illusion without needing to endanger myself.
Is Noah of any use to you now?
No. You may have them.
Gonna be all right.
So, while Nora's asking her question, I'm gonna press myself up against Zeke. Things have changed. She can come out of here alive. He can't. And I look down at Noah.
Well, I
You
mean,
have to read my thing. I do have to roll to keep it together, but I'm not even going to roll that. I'm just going to say that I failed.
Okay.
And I'm going to see if Zeke does anything before Ashlin does.
yeah, when you say that,
Irritating.
well then, I just look at her and go, well then, he's yours.
And yeah, she takes her whip and just starts slashing it across his chest.
No, no, no.
Yeah, I think the professor's gonna intervene.
Okay.
And that's a 15.
Okay, well, she certainly starts to do so.
I don't know if he's
It's-
fast enough to catch that first lash, but he's gonna.
Yeah, you're definitely not going to catch the first one, but if you want to jump in the way, give me a roll plus coolness to act under pressure. Sorry, go ahead.
I am also going to use my rage feature, and I'm going to take a point of stability so that I can gain an edge.
Okay. We're just gonna pull all the stops out in this last moment.
Yeah. Nora's
What is
also,
Norah
like,
doing?
holding him.
Yeah, he's not restraining. He's just
I mean, she.
standing.
I was like, Nora's been holding him. Like, could she have, like, taken the blow for him, or?
Would you like to do so? I will allow
Away.
it. I will allow it if you want to
Yeah.
put yourself in the way of that. I just want us to be careful because we're kind of treading back into that X card territory too. So let's just...
That what territory?
The X card that was played. Is it all right to say what it is? I won't say who played it,
Yeah.
but is it all right to... Okay. It's just violence against pregnant women, so I just want us to be careful about progressing in how to deal with the
okay.
with the altercation where it happens. So let's just, because she's the one instigating the violence. So I think if we do anything to Ashlin, it would need to be non-lethal at this point. Or we can just say that there was the... Well, no, X's don't cross it at all. We would just restrain her at this point if we interject. But please take the endure injury, because I think that works off of your ability, right?
Yeah.
Twin. Yeah, she's taking the blow for it. So yeah, your protector will trigger, so it's a +2 for enduring the injury to take the whip for him. Because yes, you had been holding on to Noah this whole time, as a loving sister would.
Exactly. And that's my protector. So 16.
16. And so you write out the pain. So the way this goes is the professor tries to step forward, but isn't fast enough. I'm not going to give you a serious consequence or a punishment for failing that one. The failure is just you aren't able to get between the two women before this happens. But Norah throws herself over her twin brother's body and takes that first sharp skin tearing crack of the whip, but it's enough to she's able to endure the tear of it. And I want one more keep it together roll from you, Ashlin, as your trauma triggers. Because twist, you're going to see yourself in Noah's actions as you inflict
20.
pain on someone else. Or you feel nothing because you continue to roll well when it's the moment.
Actually, it still kind of works into my disadvantage that I failed, so hitting Norah is basically the same thing for her.
Yeah. All right. But yeah, so it would figure that it was like, yes, it'll be this moment to reflect, or I feel nothing. Wow, two nat 10s. Good job. So yeah, this whip crack strikes, and Norah endures the pain of it, and there's that moment of the haze fading away as you see that it's your turn to be the one to cross the line and to take the pain too far onto somebody else who didn't deserve it.
Ashlyn, what are you doing?
I'm doing what I set out to do, and I'll whip again at either one of them. She doesn't care.
She's not moving away from Noah.
Oh, and that's a failure.
And that is a failure.
I do believe we all have additional rerolls from the.
I was gonna say, because of the retweet, you guys should have rerolls, and there was also the sub goal, too. I want to make sure you guys have every opportunity to utilize the last of your resources.
I'll re-roll then.
I mean, you don't have to.
For a
So nothing.
14? Okay. For a 14, you inflict damage, but at a cost. The GM chooses one. You do less damage than you intend. You're trying to really justify your anger, your feelings, to push past that instability and guilt of being the victimizer instead of the victim this time. It should have been justice and vengeance, and now instead you're just continuing the cycle. But another whip crack hits across Norah's back, and please roll me another endure injury.
I'm also gonna use my my edge, lost in frenzy, so I shake off and ignore psychological or supernatural influence.
All right, she just wants to kill you. I see. All right. No, this is good story. I like it. She's like, I would feel bad, but I don't.
In the
Yep.
moment here.
Yeah. Shake it off. Shake it off.
12. Is my protector I could still use, right?
Yeah, you're still doing it.
Yeah. Oh, 12.
Okay. Endure injury at 12. You're still standing, but I get to pick one condition for you.
Hey.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and just escalate this. You're going to receive a serious injury. This one cuts a little deeper. And when you receive a serious injury, that becomes you mark it on the chart. So there is just mark an X, or not an X, but just add an injury there, and it's just getting a whipping. Because once you get the 4, then you go into the critical wound. Once you go into the critical wound, you have the chance of dying. So there's just a bad injury. Hey, other two fellas who are watching this all happen, what are we doing here?
So she's whipping Norah, trying to get to Noah, and Nora's just like kind of taking it.
Hitting. Yeah.
Yeah.
I watch. I wait.
Okay, Professor. There is a truly sadistic scene unfolding as Ashlin is mercilessly whipping. Ashlin is mercilessly whipping Norah, trying to whip her way through Norah to get to Noah, the twin brother who had hurt her. She's taking slow and precise strikes, being purposely vicious in where she's hitting, and the red stripes of torn skin and blood are making intricate patterns, something that seems very alluring and beautiful to one such as yourself. She's lost in her frenzy, but it feels weird that she's also kind of being an artist, at least in your own opinion. She's not rushing things. Yes.
Seems words
exactly.
won't reach. 2 questions. 1, what is Lee Emma doing? And 2, what is the dog doing?
That is a great question. Lee Emma has now found themselves seated atop the dog, and the dog is watching, and it just says, "Yes, endure the suffering." They seem content in taking it all in.
But they're completely fine with each other.
Yeah, they have a very it seems like, actually, give me a roll. Let's see if I can delve this information a little deeper. Give me an observe the situation plus perception. I might be able to go a little further if you get a good roll. You know stuff
17.
And things. Yeah. And I believe you also have an ability we haven't utilized very well that I can kind of twist into this to work too. You have
Some of the third one.
your third advantage there. It hadn't really come into play yet, and I feel like this would work.
Yeah, I think the only use I got of it was that trinket I gave to Princess.
Yeah. And so I'm a just kind of info dump you here on what this thing is, because that's where the real cool stuff about this is. You're watching and you're wondering why it hasn't really done anything, and you realize that this creature is a, I hope I'm pronouncing this right, but a Darthea. It's a creature that's born out of humanity's desire for sex. A Darthea is the embodiment of perversions dwelling between limbo and reality. Limbo being the realm that the Dream Princess inhabits. This is not necessarily one of her servants, but it's a creature that lives within there. These creatures usually show that they're inhabiting somebody with signs of disease and decay that makes them go stronger. And once they have emerged, they become a new entity called a Libeth that is able to exist within the illusion. And basically the best analog to describe what a Libeth would be in this realm is it's basically a succubus that, instead of draining souls, basically spreads a parasitic host into another person to continue propagating its species.
And they need very specific people for this, right?
They need very specific people who can endure what is needed for it. The only kicker about it is once the birthing process comes, that is usually when the entity is not concerned whether or not the mother, in quotes, lives or dies. It's treading into that territory again, so it's information that can be shared, but we're not going to go super into it. It's very much a not symbiotic relationship. This is a really bad and horrible creature that takes advantage of people, whether or not they think they're consenting to the sexual acts in the beginning. They're never told that they're being given this parasitic entity.
Yeah.
And so it uses them to spread itself, and that's kind of where the monstrous side of this creature comes through. You also know that they, even as a newborn, they can be very dangerous.
Yeah, he figures there's nothing he can do with this situation between Norah and Ashlin. Even if he intervened, one of them probably end up dead anyway. So he's just considering exit possibilities at this point.
It's probably a good plan.
Does this room have windows?
It lets me.
Yes, there are windows, but you're very high up. Very likely there's a fire escape too, but the condition of this building would probably lead you to believe that it's not very safe.
Does Liema allow me to get close?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
There's no reason for it to doubt you right now. You haven't shown any hostility.
Yeah. Does it allow me to touch it?
Would you like to reach out and touch it?
I would.
Okay. Give me a roll plus charisma to try and influence it to be open to such a thing. I don't imagine you'll fail this.
I'll spend a reroll.
Or I spoke too soon.
Yeah. Bonk. All right, that would be a 14.
14. Okay. 14. Does what you want, but the GM gets to choose one. Okay. It keeps giving me these little nudges. We can't just outright fail, can we? Not tonight. Gives in for the moment. We'll change your mind later. All right. Complications will arise at a future time. That works. So you reach out, and this creature kind of turns and regards you. And it doesn't stop you from reaching out to touch it. The dog looks up at you curiously.
I am touching it like somewhat intimately.
It says,
you know,
do you wish to become a vessel?
I'm not sure. I think I might just like to be with you. I was going to ask, are you enjoying what you're watching?
Very much so. This one, however, seems troubled, and it looks down at the dog.
Troubled? Well, what is it?
Its mistress is in pain. I wonder if we should help it. And Norah, when you look over to see why the dog hasn't helped you, you see that it seems more like, at this point, it's being restrained by something, and it may be the entity that has decided to saddle it.
Yeah, there's just like tears streaming down her face. And she would have like briefly glanced over at the dog with just like this look of like desperate, like help me, but her eyes are mostly just like on Noah, trying to protect him, and just whispering like between those like grunts and cries of pain that she's here now and everything's gonna be okay now. But I'm just thinking, like, with how much weight he's lost and frail she is, she's like able to almost like fully cover him.
And when Zeke says that he wants to go, sorry, I'm getting messages that are distracting me. Okay. Chat is rioting, that's why I'm looking. Anyways, Zeke offers to be with this entity, and it considers for a moment, and you see it get up from where it had been seated itself on the dog, and it floats over to where Zeke is, and its little tendrils wrap itself, not in any kind of dangerous or painful way, but more like a baby harness around his arms, and it just kind of settles itself back against his chest, and seats itself. This is the moment that the dog is freed, and it growls and shifts its way towards Ashlin and kind of puts itself over the bloody back that is Norah's torn up skin. And it just looks at her and growls. It's just a dog, guys. What else is it gonna do?
It's just a dog. It's an evil dog, but
Norah's the only one who's heard it talk. It's just a dog.
It's just a dog.
Mm-hmm.
You know, hurting you hurts him just as much. And I'm gonna crack the whip to miss the dog and intentionally hit Norah.
That makes no sense. He's
We're in a
unconscious.
whip. Is she unconscious?
Noah,
I don't think-
Noah
yeah.
Probably
is,
close.
isn't he?
No, Noah's unconscious. Yeah,
No,
But then-
I was missing the dog to hit
to
Norah.
hit Nora. Yes, we know. He was
Yeah, but
asking
it-
if Noah was unconscious because you were speaking
Oh.
to him. Yeah. Yes,
Yeah,
he
it's not
was
gonna hurt
unconscious.
Noah.
No,
He's
I was-
unconscious.
It'll hurt him later, and she's also like well past the point of rational thought. So
Yeah.
I don't think it matters to her. She's just letting out her fury.
So I have a question. My brutal assault does +1 harm to my attack. So would that be a 12 for engaged combat? I'm not sure how the +1 harm works, and I don't have my eyes on to read it.
+1 harm is. Let me check the index real quick. That seems like the easiest way to know this answer. Harm. Of course it's not listed. Why would it be listed? That would make too much sense. Harm. Where are you?
Harm.
Harm. If I say harm enough, it'll eventually show up, right? Exchange harm for harm. That's not helpful. Avoid harm. Nope, that's going in the wrong direction. Avoid
Are you looking for
harm.
damage?
Well, her ability specifically says harm.
Yeah, it
+1
says
harm.
+1 harm to your attack. So I don't know if that would make my 11 a 12. Not that it would really matter, but
I feel like that is what it's meant to be because it's not listing anything else. 124. Hold on, let me just check one last thing because there's the avoid harm section that actually goes into greater detail. PC has avoided significant harm, and harm is highlighted in blue. Don't tell me.
I'm assuming harm is serious wounds.
Yeah. But like I said, it just consistently highlights harm as one of those keywords. Then there's nothing here. Because serious wounds and critical wounds are their own thing, too.
Mhm. Yeah, and I do have an ignore pain, which is an endure injury, but
Harm is
I
a
didn't know
modifier
it.
for endure injury. Does that?
But that same ability that I have also has a +2 to endure injury. So I don't think it's the same in this instance.
I don't think it's the same. Yeah.
Is the +1 harm modifier a penalty to the target?
It could be. I think it is.
Endure. Yeah.
Because there's a plus your thing minus your harm. I think that's what it is.
Ah, okay.
It could just be a debuff modifier. Let's go with that for now. It's the last episode.
Okay.
If I got it wrong, Helmgast can find me and sacrifice me to dark gods. So what I'm gonna have happen though is the doggo is going to jump in the way of the whip now, and since it's not a real dog, I don't think I'm breaking any rules here, right, guys? Wink, nudge, look around. But it's gonna protect its master is what I'm going for here, because either something's got to give here, and Norah or Ashlin doesn't seem to be stopping. But it's gonna. I'll just make a move here, and it's gonna take the next strike. And by take the next strike, I mean it's gonna catch the whip in its mouth, and it's gonna growl at her. Rawr.
Ashlin will just growl back. She's she is not a very sane person right now. She's gonna try and rip the whip out of his mouth.
Rip it out of his mouth. All right. So please give me an act under pressure. Keep it cool.
She is not good at this.
Nope.
6.
6. Do you have any more rerolls?
I do not think so. I don't know what the subscriber thing is, but nope. I used my retweet one.
All right. There are serious consequences. You make a mistake or you're exposed to danger. I get to make a move. So I am going to make a move, even though I just told chat that I'm not going to do anything. The dice continue to be this way. It's like every time the storyteller wants to say something, we're just going to be like, nope. So let's see. What can I do? What can I do to Dido? What can I do to Dido? Right, that she hasn't already done to herself. Announce off-screen problems. Perfect. I remember a while ago, the good professor was looking for an exit strategy. He was wondering how the windows looked. Maybe a fire escape. We're going to kind of go back to that moment as announcing an off-screen threat, because he notices as he looks out the window the flashing blue and red lights of the NYPD squad cars making their way towards this building. It sounds like there's more than a few cars coming, and it sounds like what you all have been doing has caught some attention.
Yeah, I assume no screaming was heard outside the building.
Mm-hmm. And the people and the destruction and the chaos and the panic that you all inflicted making your way up here had attracted attention. But it seems like, Professor, this might be a moment to decide if something needs to be done, whether it's time to leave without them, time to step in to stop all of this, but time is running out.
Yeah, Professor's gonna make one more attempt to stop the altercation by just calling out, if y'all don't want to go down for murder or whatever other crime they can think of, I suggest we all leave now.
Yeah, that is a great idea, and let's have a roll for it to influence others. And you're making a lot of sense at this moment, so I'm going to give you a +2 for it.
$20.
20, I'll take it. So when you influence another PC, roll plus charisma. On a 15 plus, you get both of the below options. They are motivated to do what you ask and receive a +1 for their next rolls if they do. They are worried of the consequences if they don't do what you ask. You get a -1 stability if they don't do it. So this is just going to be a group one to everyone, where the professor says, hey, the cops are coming. We really should wrap this up and go. And, wrap it up was my words, not his. But he's saying, hey, time's up. We need to leave. And so
We could deal with all this later. Once we're out of here.
It's a very convincing argument, regardless of how the others interpret it. Just know that there's a +1 bonus if they listen to him, and a -1 stability if they choose not to.
So I
How
have
are
a
the
question.
police
Answer.
here?
Because I failed my oath of revenge. In order for me to stop, I have to roll a keep it together. So it'd be with a +1.
Yes, if you intend to follow his instructions, I'll give you the +1. Because even rolling to keep it together would count for that.
I'll let Jack finish what he was going to say.
What was that?
You were talking about
what
cops.
Yeah, I actually asked, like, how are police here? Exactly.
Would you like to make a roll for that? You can
Yeah.
roll see through the illusion. You've been pretty good at that lately. When you're not tearing portals into other worlds, that is.
Oh, how many rerolls do I have? One left.
Did you use the one from the sub goal? Or not the sub goal, but the retweet goal?
I believe so, yeah.
Then I do believe you're out.
Oh, right. In that case, that would be a 7.
7. Hey, remember I just talked about opening portal? No. Let's wait until you see it makes a move. Okay. Zeke,
Oops.
you kind of blink and rub your eyes, and you're like, how are there police here when we stepped into a totally different place? But when you say that, you see the haze and the illusion come back up. You're seeing the real world, in quotes. It's no longer this dreamscape overgrown with vines and other things that would signify a different realm. You haven't traversed into anything or stepped out of anything. It feels like you've always been here. And as your memory floods back, you think of the creature that attacked you on the porch and how it was just 3 guys that were hanging out asking what you were doing there, and how the 3 of you screamed at them and attacked them in a haze, how you waved a knife threateningly at tenants who lived inside of this building, homeless squatters who were just trying to get out of the elements or were busy getting high or, falling into the debauchery of the horrible influences of this creature, but nonetheless innocents minding their own business. And there's that moment of, oh, that's why the police are coming.
Yes, I suppose you're right, Professor. It would be a good idea to get out of here. Liema, would you care to accompany me?
Yes, it is time to go, they say from the little strap harness they made on your chest. You're just dangling now.
I pet it.
I rolled an 11. Under pressure.
Sorry? 11 for your act under pressure, I see it. You do it, but hesitate, are delayed, or must deal with a complication. I'm going to just keep piling these complications up. Okay. The police have pulled the first set of squad cars up to the building, and they have stepped out of the car and are making their way through the entrance.
So Ashlin stops brutally attacking Norah and Noah and goes up to Ezekiel. Remember, you and me, alive.
Of course. I lean over and I kiss Ashlin.
You smush the
And she'll return the kiss.
you smush the demonic entity between the two of you, and it just goes, good, good.
Since the attack stopped, the professor will pick up Noah in a shoulder carry it, start to carry him out.
So I guess
Since he can't move. Since he can't move under his own power.
Yeah. I guess my last question here, so we don't just end up going back into a roundabout of whipping poor Norah until she dies, and it seems like we're at a moment where the four of you have split into two different groups, both intent on leaving. Is this where the two groups part ways and head off on their own? Or do you all try to lead together to deal with it somewhere more private?
I try to leave the best way possible. Whether anyone else is following me is another matter entirely.
Ashlin's gonna go with his.
Yeah, Professor's just gonna explain if he runs into any cops that he was here looking for a student, which he was. And he's gonna bring him to the hospital to get checked out.
And Professor, I will remind you that the police don't have a warrant for your arrest currently.
Yep.
On her way out, Nora's following the professor, of course. We will drop the Ashlin doll on the floor and just... I'm sorry, I couldn't do it.
Yeah, the doll just lays there on the floor, staring up at the ceiling. The soft padded footfalls of the dog chase after the two of you. And I'll go into just little epilogues and then give you each a moment to kind of do a where are they a little bit later. But the police end up showing up, and for all intents and purposes, with the help of the entity or just not being the criminals you're looking for, both groups are able to get away. We see one last camera shot in the hallway where the doll had been left, and it's sometime after, but a patrolman walks by and looks down at this strange looking doll and is like, well, that's weird, and reaches down to pick it up. And as he lifts it up, he doesn't see that it now has a knife in its hands. And then the screen goes black as he lets out a scream, and there's the sinking sound of metal piercing flesh. We cut to Norah and the professor in his car driving to a hospital to get Noah proper medical attention, where they're able to get him on an IV and slowly on the road to recovery. The doctor's real response at seeing him was just, what the hell happened to him, before he kind of recollected his professionalism, and they were able to get him fixed up, I guess is the best way to put it. Resetting a jaw, repairing damage, cleaning infected wounds, and things like that are all lengthy, time-consuming processes. Ezekiel, the entity, encourages debaucherous acts, and there was a promise from somebody who needed to fulfill, and it seemed interested in just hanging from the ceiling and watching. And as time went on, it stayed with you, knowing your career choice and that it would be able to grow in power just being within your proximity and the trouble you get into. From there, we can just go around the table to kind of get an idea of what everybody wants to do. And since Noah is in his sister's safe care, I am going to start with scribbles and work my way around clockwise this time.
I feel like once Noah is released from the hospital, Nora would take him to this cabin by a lake that they used to go to, just someplace where they would be comfortable, or that he would be comfortable, where she could be the only one there for him. 'Cause I'm sure he wakes up from nightmares often and just needs reassurance and help, and Nora is always there by his side to sort of help him and be there for him and be that only sort of person that he could turn to and look to. She completely isolates him.
I like it.
But it's fine.
Right on. Yeah, that's fine. Nothing weird about that. The only thing that's not an illusion is family. Yes.
You might find it weird.
I mean, hey,
But not all the
if he
family is there.
if he doesn't like it, he'll learn to like it. Probably.
He has no other choice.
Yeah, he doesn't have a choice. Haven't you seen that movie Deliverance? It's like, no, this isn't the ending I wanted. Make it again, or else.
I feel like it'll be like that Stephen King novel. What is it? Where she like breaks the author's leg so he can't leave.
That's
Oh,
Deliverance.
Misery.
Misery.
It's
Excuse
Is
me.
that Misery? Yeah.
That was what I was going for too. Where it was, this isn't what I wanted. Do it again, or else. And then he's just tied to the bed with a broken leg.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
No, they're just
Zeke.
It's good.
Zeke,
Yes.
What ends up happening with our delightful boy who did no wrong?
At some point when they're leaving, he turns to Ashlin and asks her, "Did you get what you wanted?"
It'll do for now. She says with a moderately sadistic smile.
Would you
You
care
know-
to join us?
Physical pain doesn't last. You gotta make sure the emotional pain is there. I believe Nora will have some scars to remind the both of them.
Do you wish to
And
join
she'll
us?
take the hand.
She'll take the what?
And
She'll take your hand.
Hand. I accept it. If at some point she is all right with it, he will absolutely have sex with her.
Oh yeah, that's what they're doing right after. She made a promise.
Yeah. And it's sometime after that, there is the like, you know, you don't really have to go. I can teach you how to fake a Slavic accent. Well, good enough to convince non-Slavic people anyway.
Oh. I think we can both do a little convincing of each other. Learn a few things.
I think that would be wonderful. Care for another round?
Oh, absolutely.
I absolutely indulge that.
I want to see this spin-off.
Yeah, Professor. What ends up happening with you, good sir?
I think the professor, having refused the offer a second time, decides he's going to seek his answers himself rather than look for someone else to give them. and he'll offer to the twins to come with him if they want while he goes on this exploration. They'll probably refuse, but the offer's there. But for the most part, he'll do what he was doing before when he was younger, traveling around, writing, things like that. Just
In my head canon, the
Looking-
professor's like,
he's just looking for his answer.
And then right on up to evil Ashlin.
Yeah, so pretty much being forever changed by what Noah had done to her and then what she had done subsequently to Norah, she takes Zeke up on his offer, and while he's teaching her how to fake a Slavic accent, she is manipulating him to think that the baby is his.
Well, the baby that she has?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
All right, do you mean you're trying to trick him into thinking he is literally the father, or that he should take care of it?
That he wants to be part of its life.
Oh, no, she doesn't need to seduce him for that.
And
He's just like,
yeah,
nah,
eventually
done.
she does. She has a little red-headed, blue-eyed girl named Emily.
Not to be confused with Liam.
Yeah, not to be confused with Liam. And this young girl goes off to have an adventure and is realized, and then a rabbi says, "You are possessed of a Tibik." You know. Anyway, that's a yeah. No. Zeke's totally into that. You know,
Yeah.
unless there is some point where Ashlin starts going, you know what? Maybe we're taking this too far. Then there might be a discussion.
Listen, can you ever really take it too far in Kult? Apparently, the answer is yes, but it's fine.
Yes. Oh.
Hey, great job, everybody. Y'all didn't die, so there we go. Nobody died. I'm actually disappointed in that. I could have killed all of you. I could have killed all of you, but the dice were very fickle today, where they were like, you could succeed in this thing, but then not succeed in this thing to really escalate it. So
Ironically, it was the cops that saved us.
Yeah. Weird alternate dark fantasy future. The cops save us.
If they didn't show up, the professor wouldn't have done what he did.
Yeah. Hey. So that's
I mean,
cool. There's that Zeke moment where he's like, "Are we the baddies?" And then it's like, time to go.
Yeah, oh, are we the bad? Oh, no, there was never a fucking question in his mind. It was just a matter of, are we about to get caught?
It was the joke of the illusion lifting, and you're like, those weren't monsters. Those were just people we were terrorizing in a delusional haze.
Oh, yeah, yeah. But no. We can recover from that. You know?
Yeah, no. Zeke is a completely emotionless monster, but no, he's the best boy who does nothing.
No, he's not
wrong.
emotionless. He's a monster, but he's not
bad.
Emotionless.
Yeah, Zeke did nothing wrong this entire game. Is
I
what I'm going to
failed
continue
so hard
to say.
on my last disadvantage roll. Failed so hard.
But hey, I'm tired, and I'm going to use this time to at least get an hour of sleep before work. So this is going to be where we wrap up. Let's plan on doing a Q&A next week for the people who are available.
Sure.
I know Scribs is not, which is why we were like, hey, let's get it here.
I may not be able to be here for the Q&A, unfortunately.
Okay, no worries.
I may have a wedding to go to.
Well, congratulations to that.
Ooh.
Is it yours? Is it your wedding to go to?
No.
Well,
I've been married.
We'll make do and figure something out then. We'll figure something out. But let's go ahead and go around from the original introduction order for our outros, who you are, where they can find you, and to close us off, tell us your favorite moment from these episodes of Kult Downfall, brought to you by Hellgas.
Oh, is that me?
Dino, you're first. Yeah. Evil Dino, go!
Yeah, so, Evil Ashlin has fully emerged, horns and all. Yeah, you can catch me on Twitch at Dido11. You can catch me Mondays and Wednesdays on Swindler's Den. Wednesday, I may have to make my third character of this campaign, and we're only on session 9, so that's kind of concerning. And then Saturdays, you can catch me again with Ren on Party Wipe, where I play a sweet little cleric who does not roast people in soup.
Technically, you weren't doing that.
Does not have heat.
No, I
is what
wasn't.
you're
That's
telling
what
me.
I was not. That's
She
what I
does
said.
not.
I do not roast people in
No.
soup.
One of our other players has consistently thrown people into fires as part of their combat routine, and it's pretty metal.
It is. It's awesome. Love it.
Loud Atlas
Right
is
on.
like Saved by the Hell.
Saved by the hell. Right on down to Sphinx. Who are you? Where can we find you? What was your favorite part of the show?
Hey, I'm Ryan with Sphinx. Sphinx Royal on Twitch, Sphinx RL on Twitter. When I'm not here anymore, you can find me on Honey and Dice's called a Cthulhu game on her channel at 7 Central. Not sure we were playing this Sunday, but usually on Sundays. And I think my favorite part was watching the progressively more like murderous intent between Norah and Ashlin. It's almost like an arms race of murderous intent. Like, just trying to outmaneuver each other.
Yeah, that was good stuff. All right, right on over to Jack. Who are you? Where can we find you? What was your favorite part?
Oh, you can find me at Count_Jacula here on Twitch, and even though I might not be here for the Q&A, you're more than welcome to come by the stream any Thursday or Sunday at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time and ask me questions specifically. Be glad to answer them for you. And you can also, or you could ask me questions at Jack Satan Wave on Twitter, where I will also be more than happy to answer your questions. And if you just want to see like random pictures that I happen to enjoy, then you can follow me on Satanic Jacula on Instagram. I do not have a TikTok currently, and I have been warned that maybe I shouldn't, which means I kind of want to. And I think my favorite part of the game was when I got everything I wanted.
That's fair.
I made friends with an evil monster. I had sex with Ashlin, which is who he was after. So I got everything. I'm really happy.
Yeah.
I was also
man.
very delighted to have been midwife to the fucking entity. Because this is the kind of ending to like horror. It was the kind of ending to horror movies that like I very rarely get to see, but I always want. Where someone just goes, you know what? Hail evil.
Hail
You know, hail evil, hail all that. You know, whatever. Yeah, we're just gonna have like evil entity fucking come in now and just work with that. You know,
I'm for it.
certainly a happy ending from a certain perspective.
Mm-hmm. And then, last but certainly never least, right on up to Scribbles.
Hello, let me make sure I'm not muted. Okay. Hi guys, I'm Scribbles. You can find me as Scribbling Penny or some sort of scribbling something all over the internet. Um, right now I'm on a bit of a break, but starting first week of August, you can find me back on Penny for a Tale every Sunday playing various characters. Right now it is Poppy the Ranger, champion, wholesome person. Um, Other than that, big things coming up. Make sure you tune into Fallout tomorrow at 8 p.m., who is run by the amazing Ian. There might be a giveaway happening soon over there, so make sure you tune in so that you know the details about that. Um, Otherwise, our next season will be starting in the first week of September, so start looking for some casting calls that will be coming your way soon. So that's all I got.
Woo.
Oh, and my favorite point.
Yes.
I want a spin-off series about the professor, where it's just the professor and him like going about on these travels, and I will eat that up. Like, I want to know more about the professor and everything that's happening with him. Like, every scene where it was just him and his mind or the psychiatrist and stuff, I'm like on the edge of my seat. So I need that. I'm gonna talk
Just
to Home
that
Gas and be
Morgan
like,
Freeman
can we just...
voiceover.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was at about this time that the
Right?
professor realized.
Yes.
All right. Well,
It'll
hi,
just be
guys.
Ryan, but then all these visuals.
It's all good.
Sorry,
And
Ernest.
of course, it's all good. It's all good. Y'all are enjoying the game, which is what's important. Hi, I'm Brigdis. I'm a sleepy boy. I need to at least squeeze in a fake hour of sleep before I gotta go to work. So that is where we are at right now. You can catch us tomorrow over on our channel, Party Wipe Games, where we are playing Dungeons and Dragons 5th Edition. One of our good friends has decided to take up the DM mantle, and it is pretty great so far. I play a paladin who has no fucks to give and likes to hit people with the hammer, as all paladins should. There are other games we play, but I'm too tired to go over them. My favorite scene for this game was all of it, because I was just really happy with this and the chance to run something on Weave the Tale. It was great. That's it. That's all I got. Then we could raid somebody with our wonderful 23 people. I think there is...
I believe we're rating Diesel Shot.
Oh, excellent. I was going to suggest that, but I don't know how much longer they're going. They usually go for a while, though. They're probably on for at least another hour, so it might be worth it. Yeah, hit up Diesel Shot. They're good people. They're playing Mothership. I'm sleepy. Yeah, but check them out. They're great. Stick around, watch their show. Pat is a good person, great DM, storyteller, and all-around fun costumer, and they're wearing something shiny and blue today. So there we go.
Ooh.
Take us away.